Mariah Carey triumphs in copyright lawsuit over All I Want for Christmas Is You. Mariah Carey has scored a significant legal victory after a Los Angeles court dismissed a copyright infringement lawsuit alleging that her iconic holiday hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You, copied an earlier song of the same name. The lawsuit, filed by Andy Stone and Troy Powers, claimed that Carey's 1994 Christmas classic infringed on their 1989 country song titled, All I Want for Christmas Is You. However, the court ruled that there was insufficient evidence to support the claim, effectively putting an end to the legal battle. According to People, on March 19, 2025, Judge Monica Almadani ruled that Stone and Powers failed to present enough credible evidence that Carey's song was a direct copy of their work. The decision brings relief to Carey, who has faced multiple legal challenges over her best-known holiday anthem, which has become a seasonal staple and one of the best-selling holiday songs of all time. Background of the lawsuit. The lawsuit was initially filed in June 2022 in Louisiana, where Stone and Powers sought $20 million in damages for copyright infringement and unjust enrichment. They alleged that Carey and her co-writer Walter Afanasieff had improperly used elements of their 1989 song without permission or credit. However, the case was voluntarily dropped by Stone and Powers in November 2022 before being refiled in California, where it gained more attention and eventually reached the courtroom. Stone and Powers argued that Carey's version of All I Want for Christmas Is You copied the compositional structure of their song, including similarities in melody, harmony, rhythm, and lyrics. They claimed that Carey and Afanasieff knew or should have known that their version could not be used without securing proper licensing and songwriting credits, which is considered a standard practice in the music industry. Court documents revealed that Stone and Powers were adamant that Carey had benefited financially from their original work without providing proper credit or compensation. Their legal team argued that Carey's hit song bore too many similarities to the 1989 country track to be coincidental and that the success of Carey's version came, in part, at the expense of the original creators. Court's ruling and key evidence. However, Judge Monica Almadani ultimately sided with Carey, concluding that the similarities between the two songs were not substantial enough to establish copyright infringement. The court cited the expert analysis of Dr. Lawrence Ferrara, a respected musicologist and professor of music at New York University, who carefully analyzed both songs' melodies, harmonies, rhythms, and lyrics. Dr. Ferrara determined that while both songs shared a common title and some thematic elements related to Christmas and romantic longing, they were musically distinct enough to rule out any infringement. His report highlighted that the melodic structure, chord progressions, and lyrical content of Carey's song were original and bore no significant resemblance to the 1989 song written by Stone and Powers. The songs are different enough in melody, harmony, rhythm, and lyrics to not infringe on copyright, Ferrara stated in his testimony. His conclusion played a pivotal role in convincing the court that Carey's song was not a derivative work of the earlier track. Judge Almadani's ruling emphasized that the plaintiffs failed to demonstrate that Carey or her songwriting team had access to Stone and Powers' song prior to creating her hit. Additionally, the court found that the shared title, All I Want for Christmas Is You, was not sufficient to constitute copyright infringement, as song titles are generally not protected under copyright law. Defendants knew or should have known that All I Want for Christmas Is You could not be used in a musical work by defendants without a license and/or songwriting credit, as is customary practice in the music industry, the court document stated. However, since the court determined that Carey's song was an original composition, the claim for copyright infringement was dismissed. History of legal challenges. This was not the first time Mariah Carey's holiday classic faced legal scrutiny. The song, which was released in 1994 as part of her album, Merry Christmas, has generated over $60 million in royalties since its release and continues to top holiday charts every year. In June 2022, Stone and Powers filed the initial lawsuit in Louisiana, seeking the same $20 million in damages. They argued that Carey had unfairly profited from their creative work without proper credit or licensing agreements. However, that case was withdrawn in November 2022 without explanation, leading many to believe that the legal battle was over, until Stone and Powers revived the case in California. Carey's legal team maintained from the beginning that the claims were baseless and that her song was a wholly original creation. In their defense, they pointed to the widespread influence of Christmas music as a genre, where certain melodic and lyrical themes are naturally recurring. Carey's team argued that the common elements cited by Stone and Powers were more reflective of typical holiday music traditions rather than deliberate copying. Impact on Carey and the music industry. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You has become a cultural phenomenon, with annual chart-topping performances and countless covers by other artists. It has become synonymous with the holiday season, regularly re-entering the Billboard Hot 100 and streaming charts each December. The court's decision is not only a victory for Carey but also for the broader music industry, reinforcing the standards for copyright protection and musical originality. Copyright law protects unique melodies, harmonies, and lyrics, but not general themes or song titles. Legal experts say the ruling helps clarify the boundaries of copyright infringement in cases where songs share thematic elements but differ musically and lyrically. Following the court's decision, Carey expressed gratitude to her fans and supporters. While she has not issued an official statement, insiders close to the singer say she feels vindicated by the outcome and hopes to put the legal challenges behind her as she continues to focus on her music and holiday projects. This ruling reaffirms that creative work should be protected, but it also underscores that certain common musical elements cannot form the basis for a copyright claim, said David Berner, a leading music attorney. Mariah Carey's song stands as an original work that has brought joy to millions, and now the court has confirmed that. Stone and Powers' response. Stone and Powers have not publicly commented on the court's ruling. However, sources close to the case say they are disappointed with the outcome and are considering whether to appeal the decision. Legal analysts suggest that an appeal would face significant challenges, given the court's clear ruling and the strength of Dr. Ferrara's expert testimony. The plaintiffs would need to demonstrate clear evidence of direct copying or substantial similarity that the court overlooked, said Berner. Given the detailed analysis by Dr. Ferrara and the judge's ruling, that's going to be a tough hurdle to clear.